Today we have a shootout.
How does this original 70s classic phaser
Stack up against this brand new
cost as much as a bag of sugar?
copy.
Should you buy this?
Or this?
Or do you need both?
Because after all,
How many pedals do you need?
Just one more! Just one more!
Hello, I'm Matt Bragg.
And I'm Gavin Lazarus.
So, what's on the board today?
Today we've got two phasers. The first is a vintage 1970s small stone phase shifter from Electro Harmonix.
The other's a meticulous copy from Behringer, aptly titled the Vintage Phaser.
So, does the young pretender match up to, or even eclipse, the old master?
We are going to have a look at them both individually and then compare them.
So let's get to it. Right, so let's see how they match up. I'm going to give you a basic sound without the small stone. In every case, we're going to do small stone first, vintage phase second. This is my basic sound. We've got two nearly identical Gretches through a Vox AC10.
Very good. Yeah, I think so far, that one's definitely a little bit more subtle, isn't it? I think.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
warmer.
Yeah, it's warmer. Warmer is the word. Right, let's take it up to about...
Although I thought that this one at that rate had quite a lot of definition on the low notes, but
Okay, let's see what we got.
this we've moved it up a notch now. We're at about 9 o'clock. So I thought that one sounded much warmer on that one.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's more phaser effect on this, but I think that's just because it's brighter. It's sparkling up a bit more. This one sounded much richer on those chords that you were playing than this. That was my impression on that.
Okay.
Let's shift them up to, let's go halfway. It's worth saying, on tone 1 out of 2 settings. It's got tone or color.
Color for our American viewers. Yes.
Yeah, color. Yeah. So I'm going to try something out on this now. So this is nothing. And then we'll go to small stone.
Shall we? Yes, is the next one. would say that's almost too close to cool at that setting. It's really close.
It's probably worth saying at this point, well, you would have noticed this anyway, they are identical in size.
Yep.
And in shape. They've got the wedge, they've copied it absolutely.
They've taken the effort to make this one look very like the Small Stone. It's exactly the same dimensions, same control layout.
This one's got a kind of Batman look about it as well, hasn't it? It's got a very Gotham City
it's
kind of
very
vibe
the
going
Cape
on
Crusader of the pedal world.
Or Batfink, maybe.
Or Batfink with me. Your bullets cannot harm me. My wings are like a shield of steel.
That's the guy.
Yes,
that's the guy. And they both got phase, shifter, phase, shifter.
Yeah.
So,
but unlike a lot of Behringer pedals, which come in those like identical plastic things, this actually comes in a sort of durable little metal case as well. Very similar to the original. Yeah, which has lasted a very long time already. It has lasted a very long time.
Spot the difference though.
Yep.
There it is.
Yep.
Got an LED on this one. This one, it was too early for that kind of caper.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was late 70s, wasn't it? This came out, and so basically, if I'm using it live, I've basically got to trust my judgment.
You should know when your phaser is on.
That's very true. Actually,
I mean, if you don't know, I mean, I know we can have it on subtle settings, but you should still know it's on.
Yes, that's true.
Definitely still brighter, but they were really close. They're matching really closely in there. Let's take it up a notch.
Yep.
Let's take it all the way. Oh, no, I should put it in the sweet spot first.
Yes.
Let's put
Got to
it
hit the sweet spot.
Let's put it about there. 2 o'clock. Right, okay.
Again, almost. I mean, that slightly more subtle, slightly warmer. I'd say that's the only.
But that's the same for every
real difference.
That's what we're doing.
Once again, it's the same story. Maybe it'll change when we crank it up.
Yeah.
To we get into the silly stage now.
Sure. So I think it's slightly more piano fall downstairsy on the Small Stone than it is on the Vintage Phase.
It doesn't crank up to the same levels
No,
as you
it
get to
doesn't.
that point. That could just be a vagary of either the age of the innards or just a vagary of different potentiometer or whatever they put inside them.
Yeah, it could also be to do with the fact that this is warmer, so as it responds, the EQ on it is a bit different. This is a bit brighter. So at this level, I think we might be getting slightly more definition.
Yes.
It might be that.
Well, we can see. Let's crank it up a bit further.
Yeah.
And let's almost the top, or should we take it right at the top?
Right, let's go all the way.
Let's go all the way. Let's get rocked. Okay. Ow. Let's try that again.
It was a thing.
It was a thing.
kind of amusing. I tell you what, it's on these top ones. There's not much difference. So. Those ones, I don't think there's much. Oh, there is.
Yeah, there is. You can hear it. It's definitely on. Play some note. This one is definitely giving you an almost. It's giving you an octave below somehow. More than this one does.
That's more bubbly.
That gives you the gargle, but this one. That is very nearly giving you an octave. It must be the way the sound wave is wrapping around itself.
Yeah, it's not a clean octave.
No,
or you wouldn't buy it as an octave pedal.
No,
but it's giving you a bit of usability here, right on the 10. Because if you paired that with a really nice overdrive,
I think so.
I think you might get quite a fun sound out of it.
Yeah.
I don't think you would out of this. I think it just gets too woolly.
Yeah.
Right, let's move up. Move your color up.
I'll color the whole thing, right?
We're moving to tone 2.
Yep.
And we're going to go back to. So this we expect to be. Am I right? A quicker tone. So we're going to.
No. This is a heavier.
Heavier.
This
tone.
is the heavier phase sound. So if we put it on absolute 0, we can hear the difference.
Okay.
Here. Okay. So. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go on. No, you go.
This one's like catching a wave. You sort of just go along with it. I use that sound quite a lot on this.
And I also felt this one responded to your picking fantastically well.
Yes, it didn't overwhelm
when you pushed in a bit harder, it went with you, but in a really good way.
Yeah.
I thought that one really shone in that particular example.
Cool.
Let's go up.
Okay, so let's go to there. Okay, right. That one definitely sounds a bit more chewy, and it's starting to sound. This is on the heavier setting.
Yeah.
Starting to sound slightly more brittle than this one, I think. I don't think there was a huge amount of difference, and we'll sum it up at the end. But thus far, I think that the difference is very subtle in the initial phase, but this is starting to sound a lot more different on the heavier phase.
It is.
setting.
It is much. I thought it came out okay in that comparison, but it is definitely all the things you've just said.
Yeah.
Let's move up.
Half and half. Okay. Right, where should we go with this? It's definitely that's definitely less subtle, isn't it? That's definitely a heavier.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely a harsher and slightly heavier thing. You can certainly separating things out.
I think this is the point where, depending on what your taste is, you're going to start to favour one over the other.
Yeah.
And we know that taste is everything when it comes to these things. You know, some people are definitely going to like that more chewy, more wow, phasey sound to this much more subtle mix. And I think in a live setting, it wouldn't make a whole world of difference.
Not a lot.
But I think in a recorded setting, making a record, quite so.
Yes.
Making a record, I reckon this one would be much more to my taste. I think it'd be much more usable, much more subtle on those ones. And I think it's starting to be, if you pick a little bit harder, this one's responding and moving with that. Let's move it up to there, and I'll have a little. I'm going to have a little chunk.
Okay. Funky wacky chaka.
Okay, so let's ramp this thing up a gear. I think we agree that these are starting to separate a little bit more. This one I thought sounded quite good on my choppy chop chop.
Yep.
We were looking at a little bit envelope filtery there.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit more of an envelope filter kind of tone with that. Yeah. That's still a little bit more subtle and responsive with this one.
And I think it's more responsive to weight of pick as well than this. It's kind of this gets sharp almost immediately. That stays very, very subtle. If you ping it subtly, it responds in kind. Right, we're going to move up now to 3/4.
3/4, right?
Yeah.
Okie doke.
That's with you.
Get engaged.
You
there
have the
we
ball.
go. Okie doke. Okay. Just give me a wobble.
Cool.
Slower.
Definitely slower. They're really interesting because I was looking up there because I can see by the wave that's happening there that this is louder when you're playing.
Yes, yeah.
On there, and it felt louder, obviously, in the room, but it is quite considerably so. Also, when we were on the lower color, it was around about here that these started to split apart.
Yeah.
So up to from the bass level to about 7 on this. You can't see where it is on this because it's faded.
It's faded. It's very old vintage.
There were differences in the general tone, but they were pretty close. On the first colour, it went around about here. They started to separate, and they really are separating now. So we've got this one. That one's
That's precisely 3 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah, and this one we're moving forward, and it's very much quicker. The small stone with its pulse at that stage.
Yes.
And this one's louder. It's bellowing more. I'm not saying necessarily good loud, but it's definitely louder. All right, let's go full hat.
Okay, right. Ball's with you.
Right, I'm going to try something quite subtle and then maybe something. out of that.
Yeah, I know. Brush your teeth on that.
Right, let's see how the vintage phase does.
That's definitely a thing.
It's truly horrible. So whereas on the first setting, the tone 1,
Yeah.
I actually thought that this came out the better of the two.
Yeah.
It had more sharpness, more clarity, more usability. That's completely unusable. That I mean, I can't do anything with that.
No.
It's really hard. Actually, I mean, the Small Stone wasn't usable for me.
Well,
either.
it's a very heavy effect. I mean,
Yeah.
up that high on the heavy setting,
Yeah.
on this setting here.
But it's better. This one really loses any
But
definition.
interestingly, again though, you're getting that sub bass feel, that sort of octave below feel that this one doesn't do.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but it is a difference. Between the two, between the two phases. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. The answer is I wouldn't play either of them this high on that setting.
Not on that
I wouldn't
setting.
really probably use. I mean, the first one. So if we look at the difference, I'm just going to try this one again. If I stick it to there,
It's a bit more useful.
there's a little bit of funk in there. You know.
It's got the robot funk thing. Hasn't
Yeah,
it?
it has
70s
it.
robot funk. It's
Yeah. So I think on both of them, their usable range is right from the start. I think that Small Stone particularly shines in both colours in this kind of area. There. And all the way
up to about
through to about.
That's your classic 70s. That's your kind of Alex Lifeson 70s. Yeah, very good. Yeah,
All
that's
to
your
about
classic,
that. I think it
classic
shines
phase
there.
sound.
And I think it's just as good, if not better, especially at the low end.
That one combined, I know from experience, combined with an echo or combined with even a fuzz tone, can really, really shape your sound and can take you to some really spacey, unexpected places. That's a really good setting.
On the second setting there, all the way up to here, maybe even here. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, you get that funkier kind of sound.
Yeah, it's great. And then it kicks at around about here. It's getting a bit wobbly. It's still good for.
That's good. That's all right.
Still good for that.
Yeah.
Still really good for that sort of wobbly stuff. So great sounding warm pedal. This one I think it operates here on these low settings. Again, it's pretty good. Just want to try and experiment, move you to a slightly warmer setting than there. That's nice.
Very nice.
I think it's got a wider usable range on this first colour. I don't think the same is true of the second colour. For me, it's gone. It's going right around there. It's also worth noting that this is noisier than this pedal in rest.
Yes.
So we have been getting some spaceship and helicopter sounds all the way through from there and everywhere. Some really odd sounds occasionally. I don't know if they were picked up on the microphone, but there were some sort of poppy little sounds.
It's, a little bit.
All sorts of stuff going on. It's not horrendously noisy.
No.
But it's a little bit more noisy than the Small Stone.
Yeah. Basically, and I'm a little bit biased because it's mine, I'd say that the Small Stone is the better pedal.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Overall, it sounds better, it's more subtle, it's funkier where it needs to be. I cannot remember, I bought it years and years ago for a good bargain. Unfortunately, I still got the price tag on, if you notice.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing holding it together.
It's like the stains on my underwear.
Oh.
But it was less than it was worth, I'm sure. But I don't know how much of these one of these would go for new. This is the late 70s.
Yeah, the vintage Electro Harmonix stuff goes for more than the reissues or the nano ones. I do know that the nano Small Stone would be about 65 quid.
Yeah.
And obviously, even if you pick them up used, you wouldn't get much change out of 50 quid.
No.
Whereas this vintage phaser is anything but vintage. Obviously, it's a new pedal.
Yep.
And they're about £25-30 new. And I picked this one. You can get them on the used market, as I did, for less than £20. I got this for about £15.
Yeah.
And that is the difference. That is the crucial difference here.
Yeah.
This is better, but it isn't 3 times the price better.
Yeah. No.
Nothing. So if you can put up with having Behringer instead of Electro Harmonix on your plate, and why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Quite frankly. Then this is going to do a very similar job for less money. And some of you on here, you might put in there, you might actually prefer the brighter sound. It's brighter, it's sharper, and it's more obviously phasing than the Small Stone. But the Small Stone, in my opinion, and I know it's your pedal and everything, but I would also take the Small Stone.
Yeah.
It's warmer, it's creamier, and I think it's more usable.
Yeah, all the way through the phase, all the way through the different ratios.
And I think also you'd find that in combination with some other pedals, you'd get more versatility out of the Small Stone.
This one, especially when it's on the heavy setting on the very slowest.
Yeah.
Combine that, I know, with like a nice ambient delay or with some fuzz or something, you get some very, very interesting and quite mesmeric sounds out of this. It really does make a difference. This one, however, although they're very, very weird, it does give you that odd octave effect.
So if it was an important sound to you and it was important to get that Small Stone sound, absolutely get the Small Stone. Yeah. 100%. If you just kind of want something to add to your arsenal, this will do.
Yeah. If you want a good phaser, a good classic phase sound.
Yeah, and in a live application particularly, I think in a live application this would do. You touched on it earlier, but I would like to say that I think if you combine this with some other effects, overdrives, for instance, fuzzes maybe, particular, anything that's sort of compressing the sound, sort of sucking tone, if you like, I think this is going to struggle more or become harsher and even brighter than it is now. And then you'll end up working with graphic equalizers or boosts and stuff to try and fatten it up again.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't think you're going to have that same problem with the Small Stone. No. And I think that's critical again. So, given that a Small Stone Nano, for instance, won't set you back a Prince's ransom, you're probably better off trying to get one of those. But if you're on a budget, this chap, he's got it down.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching today. We hope you liked this. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. You know from all the YouTubers out there how important the likes and the subscriptions are, so please do that. And also, comment, let us know what you thought. Did you prefer the Vintage Phaser, perhaps? What do you think about these two pedals? We welcome your thoughts on this. So until next time,
I've been Matt Bragg.
And I'm still Gavin Lazarus.